The arrival. Ryan looked out from the cockpit of his small spaceship. Below him lay the planet Lyria, a world of vibrant colors and strange shapes. Green mountains soared high into the sky, and blue rivers snaked through thick forests. This was a new world, full of life and adventure. Ryan was excited. He was a human explorer sent to investigate strange signals coming from this planet. As he landed his ship, he felt a mix of excitement and nerves. He had heard stories about Lyria. It was known for its beauty, but also for its dangers. Many explorers never returned. Ryan took a deep breath, reminding himself of his training. He was ready for anything. He stepped out of the ship and into the warm sunlight. The air was fresh, filled with the scents of flowers and trees. He looked around, taking in the beauty of his surroundings. However, he also sensed something was wrong. The trees were too still, and there were no sounds of animals. It felt eerily quiet. Ryan grabbed his gear and set off into the forest. He followed a narrow path, keeping his eyes open for any signs of life. As he walked, he thought about the mission. He was supposed to find the source of the signals and report back. But as he ventured deeper into the woods, he saw something that made his heart race. Smoke rose in the distance, and the smell of burning wood filled the air. Curious and concerned, Ryan hurried toward the smoke. He pushed through the thick branches, careful not to make too much noise. As he reached a clearing, he stopped. Before him lay a village, or what was left of it. Houses were destroyed, and the ground was littered with debris. A few villagers were running away, panic on their faces. Ryan's heart sank. He had heard stories about alien attacks, but seeing it in person was shocking. Suddenly, he heard a soft, whimpering sound. He turned his head and noticed a small figure hiding behind a fallen tree. It was an alien girl, no older than 10. Her big, round eyes were filled with fear. Ryan's heart went out to her. "Hey there. It's okay," he said softly, crouching down to her level. "I'm here to help." The girl looked at him with suspicion. She had green skin and pointy ears, a common sight on Lyria. Ryan smiled gently, trying to reassure her. "My name is Ryan. I'm a friend." Just then, a loud noise made the girl jump. Ryan turned to see a group of aliens in dark armor marching through the village, shouting commands at the remaining villagers. They looked fierce, and Ryan could see weapons glinting in the sunlight. His instincts kicked in. He had to protect this girl and anyone else who might be in danger. "Follow me," he whispered to her, holding out his hand. The girl hesitated but then took his hand. Together, they moved quietly through the trees, trying to stay hidden from the approaching aliens. As they ran, Ryan felt a rush of adrenaline. He could hear the distant sounds of chaos behind them. People were crying out, and buildings were crumbling. The girl squeezed his hand tightly, and Ryan could see the fear in her eyes. He promised himself he would keep her safe. They reached the edge of the forest and found a small cave. Ryan motioned for the girl to enter. "We can hide in here for a while," he said. She nodded and crawled inside, still holding his hand. Once they were inside, Ryan took a moment to catch his breath. The cave was cool and dark, a welcome change from the chaos outside. "What's your name?" he asked, turning to the girl. She looked up at him, her eyes wide. "I'm Mira," she whispered. "Why are you helping me?" "I'm here to help anyone who needs it," Ryan replied. "I want to protect you and your mother if I can." Mira looked around the cave, her expression shifting from fear to curiosity. "My mother, she's in the village. I have to find her." "I will help you," Ryan promised. "But we need to be careful. Those aliens are dangerous." Just then, they heard loud footsteps outside the cave. Ryan's heart raced as he pressed a finger to his lips, signaling Mira to be quiet. They listened closely as the footsteps grew closer, stopping right at the entrance. "Search everywhere," a harsh voice shouted. "She cannot escape." Ryan's heart pounded in his chest. He knew they had to stay hidden. Mira clung to him, her eyes wide with fear. Ryan thought quickly. If they found them in the cave, there would be no escape. They needed a distraction. He reached into his backpack and pulled out a small device he had brought with him. It was a simple noisemaker used during training exercises to create diversions. He turned it on and tossed it out of the cave. It made a loud beeping sound and rolled away into the bushes. "Over there," one of the aliens shouted. The group ran toward the sound, giving Ryan and Mira the chance they needed. Ryan took a deep breath and prepared to leave the cave. "Come on, Mira. We have to move now," he said, taking her hand again. They crawled out of the cave and into the shadows, staying low to the ground. As they slipped away, Ryan felt a surge of hope. He had found a new friend, and together they would face whatever dangers lay ahead. They would search for Mira's mother and find a way to escape this nightmare. In this strange world, Ryan was determined to be a hero. The escape. Ryan and Mira crouched low in the shadows, listening carefully as the aliens searched the area. The distant sounds of chaos from the village echoed in their ears, reminding them of the dangers still lurking nearby. Ryan could feel Mira's hand tremble in his grip, and he squeezed it gently to reassure her. "We need to move quickly," he whispered, glancing around to ensure the coast was clear. "Stay close to me." Mira nodded, her eyes wide with fear. Together, they crept away from the cave, trying to stay hidden among the tall trees and thick underbrush. The forest was alive with sounds, the rustling of leaves, the chirping of distant creatures, and the faint cries of the villagers still echoing in the air. As they made their way through the forest, Ryan thought of a plan. "We should try to find a safe place to hide until the aliens leave," he suggested. "Then we can search for your mother." Mira nodded, her expression serious. "She's strong. She'll be looking for me too." Ryan admired her courage. He led her deeper into the woods, where the trees grew thicker and the shadows darker. They moved cautiously, aware that any noise could give them away. Ryan felt a sense of urgency. They needed to escape, but he didn't want to rush and make a mistake. After a while, they stumbled upon a small stream, its water sparkling under the sun. Ryan knelt down to take a drink, and Mira followed his lead. The cool water felt refreshing, and for a moment, they felt safe. "Do you think the aliens will find us here?" Mira asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "I hope not," Ryan replied, glancing around. "But we can't stay too long. We have to keep moving." As they continued along the stream, Ryan heard a sudden rustling behind them. His heart raced as he turned to look. A group of aliens was approaching, their dark armor glinting in the sunlight. They were searching for something or someone. "Quick, hide," Ryan hissed, pulling Mira behind a large rock. They pressed themselves against the cool stone, hearts pounding in their chests. Ryan could hear the aliens' voices, harsh and commanding. "Split up. She can't have gone far," one of the aliens ordered. "Search the area." Mira squeezed Ryan's hand tightly, and he felt her fear. He wanted to tell her everything would be okay, but he couldn't promise that. They waited in silence, holding their breaths as the aliens drew closer. After what felt like an eternity, Ryan watched as one of the aliens moved past them, looking around. Ryan's instincts kicked in. They needed to escape, and fast. As soon as the alien moved out of sight, he turned to Mira. "Now," he whispered urgently. They slipped out from behind the rock and darted away from the stream. They ran as quietly as they could, zigzagging through the trees to avoid detection. Ryan led the way, his mind racing with thoughts of where they could hide next. He recalled the stories he had heard about secret caves and safe havens in the forest. There had to be somewhere they could go. As they ran, Ryan heard shouting behind them. The aliens had spotted them. "Faster," Ryan urged, feeling adrenaline surge through him. He could hear the footsteps getting louder, the aliens closing in on them. Mira ran beside him, her small legs working hard to keep up. Suddenly, Ryan spotted a narrow opening in the side of a hill, covered by thick vines and bushes. "In there," he shouted, pointing to the opening. They dove into the small cave just as the aliens emerged from the trees. Inside the cave, the darkness enveloped them. Ryan's heart raced as they pressed themselves against the cool stone wall, breathing heavily. They could hear the aliens searching outside, their voices growing closer. "Where did they go?" one of the aliens asked, sounding frustrated. Ryan whispered to Mira, "Stay quiet. We need to wait until they leave." They listened as the aliens began to move further away. Ryan felt a surge of relief. They had found a temporary refuge, but they couldn't stay here forever. He needed to think of a way out. After a few tense moments, the sounds of the aliens faded into the distance. Ryan and Mira exchanged relieved glances, but they knew they had to act fast. "We can't stay here," Ryan said softly. "We need to find your mother and get out of this area." Mira nodded, her eyes determined. "She must be scared. We have to help her." Ryan smiled at her bravery. "Okay, let's do this together." They crawled out of the cave and back into the forest. The sun was beginning to set, casting long shadows across the ground. Ryan knew they needed to find a safe spot before nightfall. "Follow me," he instructed, leading the way through the trees. As they moved, he kept a lookout for any signs of danger. The forest was quiet, but he could still feel the tension in the air. After a short walk, they came across a small clearing surrounded by trees. In the center stood a large rock, perfect for hiding. "Let's stay here for a while," Ryan suggested. "It's hidden, and we can watch for your mother." Mira nodded, and they quickly settled behind the rock. They waited in silence, listening for any sounds that might signal danger or the return of Mira's mother. As the minutes passed, Ryan's mind raced with thoughts. He couldn't shake the feeling that they were being hunted, that the aliens would not give up easily. But he also felt a strong resolve to protect Mira and find her mother. "Mira," he said softly, breaking the silence. "Do you remember what your mother looks like?" "Yes," she replied, her voice steady. "She has long hair and bright blue eyes. She always wears a necklace that shines in the sun." "Good. If we see her, we'll know it's her," Ryan said, feeling hopeful. They sat in silence, their hearts beating in sync as they watched the forest around them. With each passing moment, Ryan's determination grew. He had to keep Mira safe and find her mother. Together, they would face whatever challenges lay ahead. As the sun dipped below the horizon, Ryan felt a renewed sense of purpose. They were not alone in this fight, and he would do everything in his power to protect the new friends he had made. With a steady heart, he prepared for the journey ahead, ready to face the dangers of Lyria and uncover the truth behind the alien attacks. The search for Mira's mother. The night enveloped the forest, and the sounds of nocturnal creatures filled the air. Ryan and Mira huddled behind the rock, their hearts still racing from their narrow escape. The moon cast a soft glow on the clearing, illuminating their faces. Ryan could see the determination in Mira's eyes, mixed with the fear of losing her mother. "We can't just wait here forever," Ryan said, his voice low. "We need to find your mother." Mira nodded, her small face set in determination. "I want to help. She could be in trouble." Ryan understood her desire to act. He also felt the weight of responsibility for her safety. "Okay, but we have to be careful. We don't want to run into those aliens again." They crept out from behind a rock, moving quietly through the trees. The moonlight guided their path as they ventured deeper into the forest. Ryan felt the cool night air against his skin, and a sense of urgency filled him. "Mira, do you remember where you last saw your mother?" Ryan asked, trying to piece together their next steps. "Yes," Mira replied, her eyes shining in the dark. "She was near the village, close to the market. That's where they attacked." Ryan's mind raced. If they could reach the village, they might find clues about her mother's whereabouts. He also thought of the villagers who might still be in danger. They needed to help everyone. "Let's go back to the village," Ryan decided, his voice steady. "We can look for your mother and make sure everyone is safe." They made their way cautiously, keeping to the shadows and moving as quietly as possible. The path was more challenging at night, with roots and rocks hidden under the leaves. Ryan led the way, ensuring Mira stayed close behind. After what felt like hours, they reached the edge of the village. The once vibrant marketplace was now eerily quiet, with abandoned stalls and scattered goods left behind. Ryan's heart sank at the sight. The destruction spoke volumes of the chaos that had unfolded. "Stay close to me," Ryan whispered, scanning the area for any signs of danger. They crept into the village, their senses alert for any movement or sound. "Mira, can you hear anything?" Ryan asked, hoping for any sign of life. Mira strained her ears and shook her head. "It's too quiet." They moved through the village, searching for any signs of the alien invaders or the missing villagers. Ryan felt the weight of the darkness pressing down on them, and his heart ached for Mira, who was looking for her mother. Suddenly, a noise broke the silence. A low growl echoed from behind one of the stalls. Ryan quickly turned to Mira, signaling her to stay quiet. He crept closer to the sound, peeking around the corner of the stall. His heart raced as he saw a group of aliens gathered near a flickering light. "Look," Ryan whispered urgently to Mira, pointing. "They're planning something." Mira's eyes widened. "We need to get out of here." Ryan nodded, but he felt a pang of guilt. They couldn't leave without trying to find Mira's mother. "We have to be smart about this," he said. "Maybe we can distract them and find her." Mira thought for a moment, then nodded. "What do you want to do?" Ryan scanned the area for ideas. He spotted a pile of crates nearby, stacked precariously. "If I can tip those over, it might create enough noise to draw them away," he suggested. "Good idea," Mira replied, her face lighting up with hope. With a shared sense of determination, Ryan crept over to the crates. He took a deep breath, carefully pushing against the stack. His heart raced as he felt the crates begin to wobble. "Now," he whispered to Mira. He gave the stack a strong shove, and the crates tumbled to the ground with a loud crash. The noise echoed through the village, and the aliens turned their heads, startled. "Go, go," Ryan urged, racing toward the area where he thought Mira's mother might be. Mira followed closely behind, her heart pounding with fear and excitement. Mira's mother looked thoughtful. "There are rumors of an alien stronghold near the edge of the village. If we can get there, we might learn more about what they are doing and where the other villagers are." "Let's head there then," Ryan suggested, feeling the urgency in Mira's eyes. "The sooner we get to the stronghold, the better chance we have of helping the others." They made their way to the edge of the village, moving quietly and carefully. The atmosphere was tense, every sound amplified in the stillness of the night. Ryan felt a mixture of fear and determination. He was ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As they approached the rumored stronghold, the three of them crouched behind a thick bush, observing the area. A large structure loomed in front of them, illuminated by strange, glowing lights. Ryan's heart sank at the sight of the alien guards patrolling the entrance. "There are too many of them," Mira whispered, her voice trembling slightly. "We'll need a distraction," Ryan said, thinking quickly. "If I can draw them away from the entrance, you two can slip inside." "But how will you distract them?" Mira's mother asked, concern etched on her face. Ryan scanned the surroundings and spotted a stack of crates a little further down the path. "I can create a noise to lure them away. I'll make it seem like something is happening over there." "Will you be okay?" Mira asked, her eyes wide with worry. "I'll be fine. Just make sure you both get inside safely. Once I draw them away, I'll follow you," Ryan assured them. With a deep breath, Ryan moved closer to the stack of crates, trying to suppress the fear gnawing at his insides. He could see the aliens moving around, their strange forms silhouetted against the glowing lights. He knew he had to act quickly. As he reached the crates, he started to push them over, creating a loud crash. The noise echoed in the stillness of the night, causing the aliens to turn their heads in alarm. "Over there," one of the guards shouted, pointing towards the sound. Ryan quickly ducked behind a nearby tree, watching as the aliens rushed toward the noise. His heart raced as he counted the seconds, waiting for the right moment. "Mama, now," Mira urged, her voice a whisper of urgency. Ryan glanced back and saw Mira and her mother slip toward the entrance of the stronghold. He couldn't help but feel a surge of pride. They were brave, and they were going to fight for their people. Once he saw them safely inside, he turned back to the chaos he had created. The aliens were shouting and moving around, trying to determine what had caused the disturbance. Ryan took this chance to move quickly, running further into the shadows away from the noise. But just as he thought he was in the clear, he felt a sharp pain in his arm. An alien guard had spotted him, and before he could react, he was grabbed and pulled into the light. "Caught you." The alien snarled, its voice guttural and mocking. Ryan struggled, trying to break free, but the alien's grip was too strong. Panic surged through him as he realized he might not be able to help Mira and her mother. "Let me go," Ryan shouted, his voice filled with anger and fear. But the alien only tightened its grip, pulling Ryan closer. "You will regret your meddling, human." Just as Ryan felt despair settling in, he heard a sudden commotion behind him. Mira's mother had appeared, wielding a small metal pipe she had found. "Get away from him," she shouted, swinging it with all her strength. The alien turned in surprise, and for a brief moment, Ryan felt hope rise again. Mira's mother was fearless. She managed to hit the alien squarely on the side of its head, causing it to release Ryan and stumble backward. "Run," Mira's mother yelled, urgency lacing her voice. Ryan wasted no time, racing toward her. "We need to get back to the others." Mira was there too, her small hands gripping her mother's tightly. The three of them dashed away from the stronghold, adrenaline propelling them forward. As they ran, Ryan felt a new sense of purpose. They were not just survivors. They were fighters, determined to rescue their friends and family. They reached the edge of the village, panting heavily, but their spirits soared. "We did it. We got away," Mira exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Ryan nodded, catching his breath. "Now we need to regroup and come up with a plan to rescue the other villagers. They can't be left behind." Mira's mother placed a hand on Ryan's shoulder, gratitude shining in her eyes. "Thank you for protecting us. We need your strength if we're going to take back our village." Ryan felt a rush of determination. They would face whatever came next together, and he wouldn't let anyone down again. They would fight back against the aliens, not just for Mira and her mother, but for everyone who had been taken from their homes. "Let's gather the villagers and come up with a solid plan," Ryan said firmly. "We will take back what's ours." With renewed hope, the three of them set out into the night, ready to confront the challenges ahead and reclaim their home. They were united, stronger together, and ready to face the battle that awaited them. The gathering storm. The sun rose slowly over the village, casting a warm golden light that melted away the shadows of the night. Ryan, Mira, and her mother had spent the early hours discussing their plan to rescue the other villagers. With each word spoken, determination solidified within Ryan. They had to act quickly. Every moment mattered. Ryan felt a sense of urgency as he looked at Mira and her mother. "We need to gather the other villagers. They deserve to know what's happening and join us in our fight," he said, glancing around the small clearing they had chosen as their meeting point. Mira's mother nodded, her expression resolute. "I will talk to the elders. They need to understand the danger we're in." "I'll go find some of my friends," Mira added, her youthful energy shining through her worry. "They'll want to help us." Ryan smiled at their eagerness. "Good. The more of us there are, the better chance we have against the aliens." The trio set off in different directions, each one focused on their task. As Ryan moved through the village, He called out to the others, urging them to gather. We need everyone. The aliens have taken our friends, and we must unite to bring them back. His voice rang out, echoing through the streets. Some villagers emerged from their homes, their faces marked with fear and uncertainty. But as they listened to Ryan, something changed. Hope flickered in their eyes. They realized they were not alone. Are you sure about this, Ryan? One of his friends, Sam, asked, his brow furrowed with concern. What if it's too dangerous? Staying silent and doing nothing is more dangerous, Ryan replied firmly. We have to act. We can't let fear control us. As more villagers gathered, Ryan shared his plan. We're going to rescue everyone. We need to strike at the alien stronghold when they least expect it. If we work together, we can outsmart them. Murmurs of agreement spread through the crowd. Some villagers looked skeptical, but the energy in the air shifted. With each passing moment, their collective courage grew stronger. Ryan could see determination spreading like wildfire. Mira joined them, bringing her friends along. We'll help, Ryan. We can do this together, she exclaimed, her voice bright and encouraging. Exactly, Ryan said, grateful for her support. We're all in this together. Every one of us matters. As the sun climbed higher, the gathered villagers began to form a plan. They discussed strategies, weapons, and tactics, all while keeping their voices low to avoid drawing attention from the aliens. Ryan took charge, directing everyone and ensuring everyone felt involved. He wanted them to feel empowered. Listen, we'll split into teams, he explained. One group will create a distraction at the entrance of the stronghold, while the other group sneaks inside to rescue the captured villagers. We'll meet back at the clearing when it's done. Mira's mother spoke up, her voice steady. And we should not underestimate the aliens. They're powerful, but we have the advantage of surprise on our side. With each passing hour, the plan took shape. They gathered whatever weapons they could find. Sticks, old tools, and makeshift shields. Anything they could use to defend themselves. Ryan could feel the energy building, a sense of unity forming among the villagers. They reached the edge of the village, panting heavily, but their spirits soared. We did it. We got away. Mira exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with excitement. Ryan nodded, catching his breath. Now we need to regroup and come up with a plan to rescue the other villagers. They can't be left behind. Mira's mother placed a hand on Ryan's shoulder, gratitude shining in her eyes. Thank you for protecting us. We need your strength if we're going to take back our village. Ryan felt a rush of determination. They would face whatever came next together. And he wouldn't let anyone down again. They would fight back against the aliens, not just for Mira and her mother, but for everyone who had been taken from their homes. Let's gather the villagers and come up with a solid plan, Ryan said firmly. We will take back what's ours. With renewed hope, the three of them set out into the night, ready to confront the challenges ahead and reclaim their home. They were united, stronger together, and ready to face the battle that awaited them. The gathering storm. The sun rose slowly over the village, casting a warm golden light that melted away the shadows of the night. Ryan, Mira, and her mother had spent the early hours discussing their plan to rescue the other villagers. With each word spoken, determination solidified within Ryan. They had to act quickly. Every moment mattered. Ryan felt a sense of urgency as he looked at Mira and her mother. We need to gather the other villagers. They deserve to know what's happening and join us in our fight, he said, glancing around the small clearing they had chosen as their meeting point. Mira's mother nodded, her expression resolute. I will talk to the elders. They need to understand the danger we're in. I'll go find some of my friends, Mira added, her youthful energy shining through her worry. They'll want to help us. Ryan smiled at their eagerness. Good. The more of us there are, the better chance we have against the aliens. The trio set off in different directions, each one focused on their task. As Ryan moved through the village, he called out to the others, urging them to gather. We need everyone. The aliens have taken our friends, and we must unite to bring them back." His voice rang out, echoing through the streets. Some villagers emerged from their homes, their faces marked with fear and uncertainty. But as they listened to Ryan, something changed. Hope flickered in their eyes. They realized they were not alone. "Are you sure about this, Ryan?" one of his friends, Sam, asked, his brow furrowed with concern. "What if it's too dangerous?" "Staying silent and doing nothing is more dangerous," Ryan replied firmly. "We have to act. We can't let fear control us." As more villagers gathered, Ryan shared his plan. "We're going to rescue everyone. We need to strike at the alien stronghold when they least expect it. If we work together, we can outsmart them." Murmurs of agreement spread through the crowd. Some villagers looked skeptical, but the energy in the air shifted. With each passing moment, their collective courage grew stronger. Ryan could see determination spreading like wildfire. Mira joined them, bringing her friends along. "We'll help, Ryan. We can do this together," she exclaimed, her voice bright and encouraging. "Exactly," Ryan said, grateful for her support. "We're all in this together. Every one of us matters." As the sun climbed higher, the gathered villagers began to form a plan. They discussed strategies, weapons, and tactics, all while keeping their voices low to avoid drawing attention from the aliens. Ryan took charge, directing everyone and ensuring everyone felt involved. He wanted them to feel empowered. "Listen, we'll split into teams," he explained. "One group will create a distraction at the entrance of the stronghold, while the other group sneaks inside to rescue the captured villagers. We'll meet back at the clearing when it's done." Mira's mother spoke up, her voice steady. "And we should not underestimate the aliens. They're powerful, but we have the advantage of surprise on our side." With each passing hour, the plan took shape. They gathered whatever weapons they could find: sticks, old tools, and makeshift shields, anything they could use to defend themselves. Ryan could feel the energy building, a sense of unity forming among the villagers.